Hello there, toy collectors. My name is Kevin, aka Toying Around, and I am very excited to bring you this special review.
If anything, the Kim family, they're archetypes.
Which is sad, but not always a bad thing.
I'm okay. I have one. Do you see all the names?
Let's try them. Let's still try.
Hello there, everyone. Happy Thursday. My name is Kevin, aka Toying Around. Thank you for tuning in. If you're new here for the first time watching, what I do every week is I sit down and I open some toys with a friend of mine in this hobby, because I have a huge pile of toys that I need to open, and that's the only way to get rid of these big clunky boxes and make space to buy more toys. Buy more toys. The vicious cycle continues. But the fun part is I get to chat with somebody in the hobby and we get to learn about cool new stuff, and I get to hang out with you in the chat. So if you're watching here on YouTube or you prefer Twitch, it's available there as well, as under the same name, Toying Around. But do me a favor, if you have a chance right now, hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you like what's going on here. All of that stuff tells YouTube that you like this video, and maybe other people will like it too, and they'll try to suggest it to them. So thank you for being here. If you want to catch up with me outside of the live streams, I'm on Instagram at Toying Around, and all of the social links used to be down here. Good job, Kevin. And if you haven't seen last week's episode, it was a little bit unhinged. We did some toy unboxings with my friends, the Enablers. And next week, I will be unboxing with the one and only D Amazing. So make sure you're subscribed, turn on notifications, and you don't want to miss what's going on, because it's always fun when Darius comes by. And what I love about these, it's just hanging out with friends, with you in the chat. It's my weekly therapy, like unboxing therapy. Get to wind down, open some toys, and chat with all of you, the Butter Nation. So appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Before I bring on the guests plural for tonight, I want to do some channel member shout outs. If you don't know what a channel member is, it's just a way for you to support the channel, be part of what we're building here, the Butter Nation and the YouTube channel. And at different tiers of the membership, you unlock different perks. You get the emojis that everyone gets to use in the chat when they're making fun of me or some of the other enablers. And you get early access to some of the content that comes out here on the channel. So I want to give a big thank you to Paul Morales, who became a channel member, Bearded Builds, What's Going On, Dom Muchiciaro, Matt Logic 44, High School Creations is over on Twitch and here on YouTube. What a legend. Toy Rensu, Bearded Builds, happy Thursday. Innocent is here. Val A, how's it going? Aaron S, 1-6 Shooter, what's up, man? What's up, Trevor? Johnny Number Cinco, and the Lost Cause Collective. Did I get that name right? Apologies. I remember it changed at some point. DK is here. My bro, my bod, my good friend, my alleged intern, and shout outs to everyone in the chat. Thank you for being here. My guests tonight are the co-creators, owners of the brand Foxforge Toys. Please give a warm, buttery welcome to Joe and James.
How's it going?
Gentlemen,
Hello.
welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here. It's really exciting what you guys have got going on. We'll get into what you guys do. Thank you for sending over a sample of your product. We're going to talk about Star Dusk really quickly, but before we move on, let's get familiar. Let the chat get familiar with you. You want to go first, Joe, and say, what kind of stuff do you collect?
Yeah, I'm Joe. Thanks for having us. I guess I always collected anything. Star Wars, my bread and butter, but shootout lines. I collected starting lineups as a kid. Legos, GI Joes, Action Force, everything. I had a whole tub of stuff. I still do. That I have to sift through in the attic. But yeah, no, lifelong collector. So it's a passion, definitely, for sure.
That's awesome. And James, yourself?
Yeah, same with Joe. Big Star Wars fan, so have plenty of Star Wars figures. Also a huge Warhammer 40K fan, so I'm super happy that the Joy Toy team has been starting to pull out those 3 3/4 inch, 4-inch figures. So my wallet has been hurting.
I've seen a lot of those lately.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And then yeah, like a lot of like the cool Kickstarter stuff, like the Plunderlings and the, as Joe said, Action Force. So you know, yeah, they're all awesome.
And you're here to talk about the line Star Dusk and Fox Forge stores. What's the story behind Fox Forge? I'm always interested. Like, how did you guys get together and put this thing together?
I mean, it's actually funny. I guess I'll start by saying we just got a time hop notification that we met each other exactly 10 years ago. I think the other day. James and I, we met in college. We were freshman roommates.
It was like the cheesiest way that we became friends too.
It was one of those like icebreaker things where like you had to stand across from somebody and like shout out one thing you both liked without even planning it. And the two of us said Star Wars, and then
no way,
yeah,
like Star Wars, but not even like we said Clone Wars. So like it was like really niche on how we did it, and so immediately we're like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So you didn't even. You went right for it. Like,
oh yeah,
people would have just cast a wide net and be like Star Wars. You said no, Clone Wars specifically. If you know it, you know it.
And that's what we were saying to like other people down the line too, like just kind of like shouting it out there. But yeah, that's kind of how we met. And I guess over the years we just started planning stuff, and there was sketches, and James had the concept for DOS, and it just fleshed out from there, like piece by piece.
Yep. So it was like, yeah, Kate, we knew that we had, similar passions. We'd talk about it in college, and then, like executed upon the plan and getting together and using our skill sets and combining them into one and making Star Dusk. So we can't believe that we're now, T minus probably couple weeks away from getting our whole production order
series 1
of our first series action figures, and it's taken it's been in the works since starting with sketches to
4 years
till now. So, and we're going to be sending them to all of our customers, so we're like super excited.
Oh wow. At what point of that process of sketches and characters were you guys like, hey, you know what, like we got a whole world that we can flesh out and turn into a product? Was there like a defining moment?
I think in a way, I because James came to me first with DOS, and I mean he comes from the toy industry background. He worked at Toys R Us headquarters.
Okay.
I'm a teacher, so only collecting plastic, not actually making it, was like what I could do.
Yeah.
But he came to me with DOS, and then I think around like the 5th character that we started sketching, we kind of looked at each other like, this is a little more than just one thing. I think that's at that point where like we introduced like all 5 of the first main characters, where we were like, we got to start doing the story here and not just characters.
Yeah.
It's like,
because we knew we were like, oh, we wanted like the leader, the heavy assault specialist type guy, like the troop builders. And then it was like, all right, what are we actually gonna call these characters, and like the background of them and the story, and like when's it taking place? And
it just exploded.
It just exploded from there, and it was because I guess what we did it reverse, right? We did the characters first,
then the story, and then the company. If you even want to like,
really
flesh it out, like
it was all over the place.
But like then we started to like expand on, we started sketching out star maps and like naming galaxies and
oh wow,
the planets, the species, the flora, the fauna. Like we really started to go into it, and I think once we started to do that and we started to do like the bios, that's when we kind of like, all right, the story needs to start kicking up now.
Yeah. And then as well with working with the brand, I think a very fun part of it was getting to meet people and working with such talented artists to bring these characters to life. Like,
look at this stuff.
This fella's name's David. He's a Belgian artist, and he did work for some of Games Workshop Warhammer cover art for comic books. So he was able to, bring these characters that we've created now in action figure form into like a realistic type way. So that was super amazing to see. And then this banner up at the top, we worked with his name's Marty, and he's just another Ukrainian fella, and he's super talented as well, and bringing a different aspect and using his style to bring the characters of life, which we implemented into our packaging.
Yeah,
super cool. Yeah, I mean, you guys wrote a whole story. There's an intro to it on the back of the box. This is the website, foxforgetoys.com. And you get the story here, all the character bios, and book one. So hopefully there's more stuff coming.
Yeah, definitely.
Super cool. I think building a backstory is a pretty great part of building a not a customer base, but getting people invested into the character. When you combine that with really cool designs, I think it's a good combination.
Yeah.
Yes, because there's one thing of you have this character in front of you, but you don't know anything about it. But then if you have a character with a backstory and all that, you can relate to it a bit more, or more about that character if they're like the good guy, the bad guy, and all that stuff. So like that's what we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah,
absolutely. We got the homie 796 Studios in the house. Bearded Builds, RMD, what's up, man? Thanks for dropping by and leaving a like. He's going to watch it on the replay. Trevor, 16 Shooter, says big congrats.
Trevor, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're hoping to get some photography done from Trevor, from our friend. Yeah, love that.
That's cool. Let's look at some of these characters. Well, I want to say, like, I felt like I was really surprised you guys reached out to me. I didn't know that was a guy that people would reach out to for stuff. Like, I just in my own corner here with my friends opening toys, but you wanted to send a sample for me to look at. I'm like, that's super nice of you. Thank you. On top of that, you wrote this letter to me and saying thank you for creating your amazing content and using your platform to give smaller independent toy makers more exposure. I think that's important because there are all the brands that we know, the top lines and the characters built off of nostalgia or things we know from our past and more movies that are coming out now. Those are a constant, right? And people know those things. But I think before we started, when we started, you mentioned Plunderlings. They've been on the channel and a lot of independent indie toy makers. I think it's important to look at some of this new stuff and really. Sometimes people just scroll through Instagram and it's just another image and they don't really know what's going on, and it's hard to get someone to stop and really read what you got. Because trust me, I have issues with that too. I struggle with that too. But just to see something like this, I'm probably guilty of it myself. Because when you guys reached out, I'm like, oh shoot, this is cool. And going into the review for, you sent over this Reaper Division Legionnaire, which I have to say, like, once I had it in hand playing with it, it's so much fun. It's great to see stuff like that. And then after I started posting about it, people were like, oh, these look cool. These look great. I might have to get some. And then there are people who are like, I can't wait to get mine. Like, they're already on it. So it's just helps create awareness. I think it's a lot of fun. So thank you for sending one over.
Yeah, of course. It was our pleasure. Yeah, we I think you hit the nail on the head. I think, it's so important to, especially now, having all these indie toy lines coming out of like the woodworks from Kickstarter and getting the big start. I think we started designing the line like in that, I guess it was like the dark times, like post Toys R Us for us in the States. And like, it was kind of like a struggle. Like there were so many things, so many gaps that like collectors wanted from different things. And, we weren't able to get certain lines now. Like Toys R Us was so big here because you had like Hasbro in the same aisle area as NECA. And then you had like all the smaller companies too that were there that you don't really think about. And so when that left, like that kind of left a big hole.
Yeah.
And we just started,
Yeah, and that point, when, Toys R Us went away in the U.S. market, it was, this is the time to where we should make something ourselves. And, COVID hit, and we probably launched at the hardest time possible because as you just said, like you scroll through your phone, like, and you will miss those posts or something like that. Like, and we're just a brand new company just starting, so it was really hard to gain that traction and that awareness about the brand. So we launched during COVID, but then where everything was starting to get better and conventions started to start opening up, we took advantage of that, and being in person was the way to help push the product, and people seeing the prototypes in person, like that was very beneficial towards the line. And then once we felt confident, we then we're like, all right, I think we're ready to launch this on Kickstarter. And then we were able to fund, we had our stretch goals, we didn't achieve it, but that's totally fine because it was actually better to start smaller and then build upon that. So we're super thankful for everyone that has been with us along the journey, and we can't wait to get these to you guys.
I mean, whether you've bought a product or whether we've shook your hand at a toy show or you've reached out to us, like it's a whole big team effort, I think, with everybody that's been involved.
Let's see. French Ghost 007 on Twitch says this stuff looks so cool. Thank you for being here. First time commenter over on Twitch, and also Divine Serp. Super excited for the line. Very cool. And French Ghost, thank you for the follow. I think regardless of what happens, you guys have a product that's en route. Like it's your creation. During COVID, you've been able to create something, manufacture it, and it's en route to you, and indirectly by that the customers, right? So that's an achievement on its own, whether or not you hit stretch goals or whatever. Just being able to create something, a toy, as toy collectors. I mean, I feel like a lot of toy collectors, that's a goal of theirs, right? It's like, man, I wish I could make this, or I've got ideas. I could do it better than this toy company, or anything like that, or just create your own character, what you've imagined, and making it something that you can hold in hand. I'm gonna give myself the big screen for a second. This Reaper Division Legionnaire. If you haven't seen the review yet on the channel, please go take a look after this. Spend a little more time on it. I don't know if it's the lighting is too harsh, but this red paint there's like red candy apple paint almost with the kind of glittery finish on it. It just blew me away. It looks so good. Is this a feature? Is it a feature or a look that's going to be on all the figures, or just the red one?
It was to help, we wanted to have like that metallic-y type of feel towards the figure, but on the Dread Ops, the blacked out figure with the red visor, he's going to be like a matte finish because that kind of suits the style of that character based upon the story that we're kind of putting together for that character. But so that is the only character out of all the other ones that we are selling,
That won't have it.
that will not have it.
Yeah, but every other character that has like this type of body will have it. Like we want to kind of give this guy like a matte sort of non-metallic finish. But yeah, every other one will have that cool feature.
Cool. Oof in the chat says, what scale are these? These are 1/12 scale.
Yep, 6-inch. Yeah, exactly 6-inch. I didn't realize that
Yeah.
until your review. Actually, it's like
I feel like that's something you should know, man. No, it was spot on 6.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like just the look of this character, it's its own thing. It could work with a lot of sci-fi displays, or if you do toy photography, you can integrate them into Star Wars characters, things like that. You know, a background bounty hunter or something. And they're a good size. I did some comparisons with Black Series. The look of it is very sci-fi, but I think it fits with like the Star Wars space fantasy kind of thing too. Here I have Saw Gerrera here. There you go.
Stand in the back, yeah. I think that's kind
So
of
yeah, they look great.
That's what we wanted. We wanted like that sort of in between, can throw up on your shelf, or can stand in a lot of different displays. But we called from a lot of different lines too, like James said, like Warhammer over here, and then I grew up with Metal Gear, and all of the things that I played a lot of 80s like arcade games, like the sci-fi games, the cheesy ones. So that's kind of where like the campy helmet designs came from, and like some of the different features on them, the unnecessary pouches on the thighs. Like it's just something that like it's just fun. It's nostalgic to look at. It's cool.
I don't think it looks excessive. I mean, unless you had Rob Liefeld draw it, like this is a good amount of pouches, right?
I guess they could have been
here.
More.
Yeah,
we could have added more.
So you're saying add more?
Add more pouches.
I guess we could have. Yeah.
You're just taking notes as I'm talking. No, don't take notes based on me. Another cool thing you guys did on IG, and I love seeing stuff like this because kind of behind the scenes stuff, how not exactly how things are, well, yeah, it is how part of it is made. Factory shots, like having these almost like stencils of how they paint and apply, and it's always cool to see a factory box of just all parts. It's super cool.
Yeah. You just want to
you
stick
guys
your
to
hand
share.
in it and pick out some pieces.
Yeah, it's like going through the candy store.
It's
a
a real
bulk candy store.
It's a real process that you were obviously he's more exposed to it, but like me, not coming from this, like seeing these, like for the first time, I was seeing a lot of these things, like for the first time. So like seeing the paint masks, how they're made, the molds, how they're made, and it's really, really cool. Just like even that, like how they
this part's the coolest.
Yeah, how they brush on the accent pieces, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it's just like it's really fun to see like when you like are communicating with the factory and making sure like all the steps are being followed, and then they're providing you those videos and pictures. It's like really rewarding to see like the time by time like updates and progress that you're making as you go. So it's just really cool. It never gets boring seeing like up like all the paint sample stuff and all that. Yeah.
There you go. 796 says, excuse me, they could pair up nicely with Cosmic Legions too. It's coming out.
They look really nice.
Exactly.
Hopefully, we'll see them at the March show.
Yes.
There's the New Jersey Toy Con that we're going to in October, that we go to in March next year, that we have an exclusive figure.
Yep.
Oh.
We haven't shown yet.
Where are you guys based out of?
New Jersey.
Yep.
Oh, perfect.
New Jersey.
I just visited there last month, I think, during SDCC. I just visited there. I
Oh,
have some
okay,
family
yeah.
in where did I stay? Edison.
Edison.
All
Okay,
right.
so that's like
that's like
45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
from where
Named,
we're like
named after Thomas Edison.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I've been telling people. I don't know if that's true. What the hell do I know? I'm from
Yeah.
Canada. Tommy K in the chat, what's going on? Yeah, I mean, High School Creations is interesting in factory video. Mike is another dude, super creative. He's got all the gear in his workshop, cutting
Awesome.
plastic and wood and 3D printing. Just a master builder, and I'm sure he amongst other people would love to see more stuff like this in terms of toy production. James, you used to work in the head office at Toys R Us.
So when Joe and I graduated from college, I went in and got hired to work for Toys R Us for a couple years. So I was fully exposed to the product development life cycle. So turning a sketch into an item, like into a real life product on store shelves domestically, and both globally. So then I learned everything about it, and then having the passion for toys, and then Toys R Us making me fall more in love with the toy industry. Once, it's kind of like a blessing in disguise. As much as I loved working there, it now allowed me to, gain the knowledge and work with, my really good friend here to build these action figures for everyone. So, I'm always working with the factory, making sure that all the updates that Joe and I want are being applied. And just making sure, everything's being followed. So it's definitely, we definitely both have really good skill sets to apply to this line, which I'm super thankful for.
That's perfect. I mean, you got to use what you got to. Is that one of those situations where it's like, man, if I didn't leave Toys R Us, I never would have went to go start this thing on my own. Or if I never got, people say like, if I never got fired, I never would have had this opportunity or left on my own to do this thing.
Or even had like the time, because I remember being in college. We were always two people that like we would kick about, different ideas like for different products that we wanted to make, or I think at one point we wanted to open up a comic shop. We had so many different ideas.
Rule that out, Joe. Don't rule that out.
But it's not too late. You can still do it.
Yeah, I mean, like it's one of those things that like we had so many different ideas that I think at some point it always would have led to this. Maybe not in this incarnation, maybe in a different style or kind of different iteration, but I think it always would have led to this, to Stardust, to these figures, these types of characters, like regardless of what happened.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. This one, this is the one you sent over. This photo properly kind of highlights the look of the finish on the paint.
Yeah.
Zoom.
Yeah, there you go. You can kind of see the metallic.
Yeah.
Subtle, but I think it's definitely, as Joe said, something like that is not really on other figure lines out there. So I think it helps, definitely puts us a bit different.
I think we were kind of on the fence. Like we were kind of thinking, do we want to weather the armor? Do we want to have like a dry brush, like, feature over it from the factory? Right. But then they kind of, we thought about maybe just doing something like that's subtle, but when it catches like the light at the right angle, it just looks like so awesome. Mm-hmm. We first got the paint samples in, we were like, man, they sparkled. Like we couldn't stop shooting them. They looked like those pictures, like that was like probably a midnight, photo shoot that we just couldn't stop shooting them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, do you do the photography yourself?
For those, yeah.
Nice.
But we want to go, we with 1/6 shooter Trevor at a couple of the conventions, and his photography is absolutely top notch, amazing.
Oh, of course.
So we've had conversations with him. We've we've been focusing on other areas of just getting the product here, but he's on our list to work with in the future because he's just so good at what he does.
I've actually never heard of him before.
He's pretty cool.
I'm
I think
kidding.
he might be in the chat.
He's pretty cool.
He's a channel member. I'm just giving him a hard. Trevor is one of the best, and a nice dude on top of that, and just inspirational at his work. I've been watching it for a long time, so you know that's a good guy to be in touch with. Yeah. We talked about the review quickly before we hopped on live. You know, in the video, again, I completely fresh on this figure. I didn't know what to expect going in, but I tried to point out some things, stating them, you know, unbiasedly as best as I could. And, you know, you guys talked about listening to fans, listening to feedback. And I thought that was really interesting. Can you pretend that never happened and say it again and let everyone know kind of like what kind of bumps and obstacles have you gone through or changes throughout the process?
Why don't you talk about how when the Kickstarter was fully funded and where we kind of were at that point?
I think we can best sum it up in like one sentence by saying we should theoretically have had the product here over a year ago, but not this figure. When it first got funded, you know, we had a couple different design differences, but they were pretty big. Like the hips were a little wider, so they weren't able to get full range of motion. It didn't have a natural bicep swivel, so we kind of had to like go to the factory and have them redesign the entire bicep. We said, this is something we have to get done. Mm-hmm. We had to redesign parts of I think
the helmet.
The helmet a bunch of times we had to redesign to get it tight and to latch on. And the hands we redesigned a bunch of times.
Yes.
So we could have had a figure here a year ago, but going to conventions, like James said, we went to ToyCon and a couple different other ones. And fans would come up to us and we had like prototypes in the cases and they would give us feedback. And I think, a lot of people weren't expecting us to like really write it down, but like literally we would hear that and we would like write it down like at the booth. And then James, because James does the factory coordination, like he does all the factory communications. He would go like really that day back to our factory manager and be like, hey, got some more things we're calling out, like that can we get this changed? And that would be delaying the process and delaying the process. And I mean, like I'd have to go to wholesalers and tell them, listen, we're taking more time, but this is what's going to look like. And I think that's kind of been our MO, is just 100% transparency. Like we just wanted to make sure everybody knew what was going on and why it's taking so long, because it sucks that it's taking so long, but we want it to be, it's our first product for the company. We want to make it good. We care about the feedback. We want to listen to what people were giving us. So I think we got it into a spot to where we are happy, but we would definitely like to improve upon for our future waves certain areas of the figure. Like as you called out in your review, like there's like some areas of motion that are a bit hindered, but we want to improve upon that, and we can make those updates. So we're definitely taking in all the feedback that we possibly can to make this the best thing we possibly can.
I think that's highly commendable, because anyone could just be like, I don't need to listen to anybody. This is perfect. I know what I'm doing. But again, while maintaining your vision and your brand and what you want your figure to be, you've still kind of put it off a little bit longer from actual fan feedback, just to put the best possible product. Your first product, it's got to make an impression on people, and the fact that it's en route. Right. Again, that's already an awesome achievement. Transparency, I think, is huge. If people who are watching have been following me on Instagram, I've been having some issues with some other toy companies with no contact, which was eventually, resolved. But they have some other products that are like 2 years on pre-order with no updates. And all you have to say is, hey, here's an update. We're at this stage now. I'd be like, oh, cool. Because you are working on the best possible product for me. So I'm cool with waiting a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. But then there's the opposite end. You can have, you look at the other end of that. Super 7 has a list on their website of like every product and what stage it's at. It's like it's in tooling in the factory and they're testing this and that. And then like people don't read it. They're just like, what's up with this?
Yeah.
And then so it's like you can't win.
Yeah.
You can try your best and know that you did your best, but you also don't want to be the dick that's like, hey, go check the website.
Go check. I think it's funny too, us being collectors. Like we were talking before the show about like just being so impatient for like waiting for certain things. Like even like for me, anytime I order from DoorDash, I'm constantly checking who the driver is, when they're showing up, where they're going, if they know where they're going. And then that translates to collecting. Like anytime I place an order, I look at the mailbox like in an hour, like I'm waiting for it. So like we know like the waiting and how it feels. So like we just try to update people. Like I feel like we feel bad if we go like a little over a month without any sort of update. So we just try to kind of keep that up because at the end of the day, like they're toys, but people paid for them, and we want to make sure that they know they're coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, and part of the whole experience, you want them to have a good experience on top of getting a good product, and then they'll be like, yeah, I'll buy from them again. If you do a wave 2, wave 3 going forward, you don't want people to be like, yeah, I don't want to put money down and not know what's going on with it. So I think that's very important. Again, this dude, I'm gonna try to take more pictures of it this weekend. Set up like a scene, a diorama, backdrop, something like that. Here's a look at some more of the characters that you're offering. Let's see. Johnny C. Dagger says, how easy is it to take the DIY figure apart to paint it?
The DIY. The blank. The artist proof. These figures, I mean, we've painted them up a couple times because like we have the blanks, so we've kind of like slapped paint on them just to see how they take. And right off the bat, truthfully, I was not expecting them to really be that smooth with how paint went over. It depends on the paint you use, obviously, but like, I painted up a couple so far, and I did not need to take mine apart whatsoever. I use Citadel paints. James does too.
Yep.
I moved the bicep, the thigh swivel, a layer of paint, let it dry, rotate it. It didn't chip. I haven't even sealed mine yet. But I mean, like with any figure, I mean, you can, throw it under the good old hair dryer or, boiling water, soften it up. Like it feels like a Black Series figure. So like it'll be that sort of, that feeling for customizers that they'll know like, oh, this arm can come off, the thigh can come off. Like they're pretty easy with that customizer knowledge to take apart. They're not hard.
Yeah.
The blank is 23 Canadian dollars.
The whole thing with the price is we're trying, inflation. You've seen it. Going to the grocery store is expensive now. Unless I'm just buying expensive
food. Yeah.
But there's been, price increases in the toy industry. We are trying our absolute best to stick with and be competitive in the market with really flexible price points for the customer. Like the blank we have for $20 on our website. That's, I think, a really good, rate for what you can get for a gray figure.
Yeah.
And then our painted ones are 25. So we're really trying to stick to, really nice price points for the customer. I don't want to increase the prices.
We've been avoiding them. We've been able to like circumnavigate the inflation for the last few years, and I think we kind of put it off for a while because when we started, 2020, that was a whole different ball game. like eggs don't even cost the same as they did in 2020. So like when we started this, like full disclosure, we had all of these spreadsheets of everything. And then, we got the product made and now we're in 2022 and everything's totally different, and we try to really hold on as best as we could. But, but going forward, with the price increases, we're looking for Series 2 to come out of the gate with, the new characters, the aliens, and additions to those characters. So like you will pay more, but you're getting more out of that experience. There's more included. That's kind of what we're trying to offset it with.
Yeah. And then, I remember in your review that you did, you were talking about like possibly doing like, different hand gestures and all that stuff. Like, if that's something that a lot of the fan base and the customers want, we can definitely do that. But we would have to obviously, see how that reflects in terms of like what the factory would then be charging us.
It was definitely on the table to like include, in the initial sketches, like we included different paired hands and different head sculpts and all those different things. But then, James talking with the factory, like you said, like then it starts to get to like that higher end collector tier. And we kind of want, on the box, it says ages 8 and up. Like we wanted this to kind of be a blend of, this could be on a collector's shelf, but it could also be in a kid's hands and be thrown at the wall.
Dude, at that price point, I'd be happy to put it into an 8-year-old's hands. Like, I would trust them to play with it. Can you imagine how much fun we would have had at 8 with something like this?
That's kind of been the cool process. Like over the years, I've been giving my nephews and my different family members, my little cousins, the figures to play with and to watch, like literally take it and just throw it, and it would break. And they would pick it up and play with it. Like I remember one time they were playing with it with like a Captain America figure, and I was like, "That's awesome!" Like that's kind of we were kind of wanted to do that sort of split between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's that's just me talking as a fan or as a collector out loud. They already have the hands that have the up down, which is perfect for the gun wielding.
Yep.
You got 2 weapons for each of the weapon hands, so they're not left standing around holding invisible suitcases. That's cool. There's an accessories pack. So yeah, I don't know how much it costs to be like, hey, can you make just hands like the nominal increase, or is it the super increase? That's just me like hoping.
I'd love to
for this.
So you're saying like a separate hand packs by itself?
That would be cool.
Yeah, hand pack, pair it with, if you have weapons that you've also designed that you're just like, I want to find a spot to get these out.
Down right now, just so you know.
Oh my god. No, like sometimes you want to punch maybe something else. Yeah.
Because we
pointing,
want,
relax.
The hands are, that universal shape, and that's kind of why we went through so many rounds of different hand designs, because we didn't want it to be the higher end collector and the higher end collectible price. So we wanted to make sure that this universal hand can literally hold any weapon, and not just for this series, like the next series and the series after. Like we have a plethora of different cool weapons planned. Some are big, like huge, like the Zerg gun, and some are smaller, like pea shooters. But all of the hands on the Series 1 figures can hold those weapons that are coming up in the next series.
It holds it so perfectly too.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. Nothing loose or wobbly. It's I think having that static hand kind of gives it the also like the nostalgic You know, like we're just gonna have that hand.
The secret.
Yeah.
Secret, exactly.
Yeah.
Mike says that's super competitive pricing. That's great. And saw it was all US based. Does that include the factory?
So we started I brought this up. We started 3D printing actually the files ourselves. So this is I mean, James, like we went through I don't know how many of these.
This is like it basically started off with getting the files made by a designer that we found local to us, so we were able to make frequent visits to him, and then we started to do articulation cuts to it. Obviously, the more articulation cuts you did, the more complex it got, but we were like, hey, to help fund and generate a bit of money for the line and stuff like that, let's make them 5 points of articulation, 3D print, we'll hand paint everything, and then we'll hand package everything. So it was like labor of love, and we really enjoyed the process. We did it during pandemic when we were all in our house, like in our houses, having to quarantine. So we were painting from the morning till night, and then we were then selling these limited run figures on our website and at on our website,
online,
and then
at shows,
and then eventually at shows as well.
But then that was all US based because that was literally all us and our spouses helping us out. Like 3 a.m. painting, in the middle of a pandemic shutdown, the world's burning, and I'm in my garage. Literally, I have fever dreams of looking up and seeing light, and then hearing birds, and not realizing it's 6 a.m. Like that's how long we were painting these, because we went
My
through
goodness.
like 300-400 of them, and then we stopped doing them. And so then we took it to the mass production phase, and so we had to go overseas to do these figures, the articulated ones.
I think that's a good point in the conversation to bring up. If people haven't gone on board yet and they want to jump on, where are they available? What are their options for getting some of these figures right now?
So I mean, like there's our website, foxforgetoys.com, and then Joe can talk about the wholesalers.
So we have them on Big Bad. Big Bad's our biggest supporter. We wouldn't really be here with a lot of his support, so we really appreciate all the effort that they've put into promoting the line. And then we have smaller shops too, mom and pop. Like we want them to reach throughout the states. So we have a family game night that you can find them on their website. We have them in Canada, eCollectibles. Shout out to Mike. There, we have them on chubsywubsy.com here, another local New Jersey toy dealer. Big Boy Collectibles. We have so many different wholesalers that have been gracious enough to give us their business. So we have a lot of different places you can get them across the states, and international too. AFI in Australia.
Perfect. Also, David de la Huerta brings us up the peg hole on the back.
Yes.
There's options for more stuff.
Yep.
Yes.
So, whatever you see now. Yeah, whatever you see now, it doesn't have to be the final form. Obviously, you guys are taking notes, literally taking notes right now as I'm talking. So it's only going to get better in terms of making the best figure that you guys put out and trying to take fan feedback. We talked about some of the stuff earlier, something I pointed out in the video, and then that we're going to take notes and make some modifications for that.
So then going off the peg hole subject, we have it on the back, as you said, and then also on the thighs as well. So we also want to do
how did I miss that? What an amateur.
it actually blends in. So I was kind of watching.
Holy crap! Oh man, I gotta
Yeah.
go shoot a whole new video. But sorry, go ahead.
On both sides, it's there. So we.
Stupid.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but
I mean, you should have. Feel free to. Hey, I'm not perfect. I'm not above feedback.
James has here something that we're working on for series 2, which is coming out. Once fulfillment of series 1 is done.
So we're like, like you have like your base figure, and what you can really do is put the weapons on the back or the thighs. But we're like, hey, how can we get people to make their initial purchase of Wave 1 like even cooler?
Mm-hmm.
So we were looking at like backpacks. So we have like a little like a backpack here with even pegs on the side,
a couple different designs.
so you
Like that?
can fit on the back, and then the weapon can slot in, so you can get like a bunch of cool,
That's super cool.
like different poses and customization options. So we're looking at all that stuff to kind of beef out the characters.
Good thing you pointed that out on the backpack, or else I would have missed those peg holes too. Okay, this is pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, and that was kind of something too we thought about. We were like, well, that was late in the design too. We thought about, we were like, well, they were going to come with 2 weapons. We should have some sort of storage, and then that's where the peg holes came from. But then we thought about the backpacks, and then, I mean, there's just so many different, things that we have planned for the next series and beyond that, we're far from done with just designing and, making them even better, even cooler.
Right. So right now the goal is get Wave 1 into everyone's hands.
Yes. Yeah, just get the boat here, fulfill everyone's orders, and then see what the feedback is from the customers, so we have a bit of time to pivot and adjust if there's any significant call outs that people are really liking or not really liking, and then we can then apply that to the next wave, and then just build up from there. But we have the characters already set for Wave 2, so we're super excited to hopefully get those funded for everyone. Joe here has one of the new characters for Wave 2. This is the UTDF trooper. So we're super excited with like how, and this was a blank that we used.
Yeah.
So we're new helmet, and then new straps on the thighs for like the bags.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is a artist-proof figure that we ourselves painted up just to see, like, the character design.
Yep.
For series 2.
That looks awesome.
And then Joe's gonna show. This is Razek,
and there's the alien.
Ooh, that's so cool.
So fun fact about him: I have his head profile tattooed on my kneecap. Because he was the first character that I designed when we first started.
Nice.
And then
I'm definitely gonna get that.
And then he has his own separate helmet.
Wait, does that go on top, or is it?
So the helmets for the aliens going forward are going to be just separate heads that peg on.
Perfect.
We figured that's kind of the easiest way without them looking clunky, and we want them to fit in scale, with the series 1 figures. We didn't want them to kind of be out of style together.
Yeah, bobbleheads next to.
This Razek would be unlocking like a whole new set of molds and way more customization options to reuse and stuff like that, because molds are just so expensive when it comes to figure creation. So we're trying to, obviously make new characters to where we're not making like it stale, but this character will allow to bring a lot more molds into play and all that. So we're super excited about Razek. And then we also have DOS. This was the initial
The second Alien,
There it
for
is.
Series
Yes.
2. These are all coming for Series 2.
My
And,
God, imagine a whole team of these, like a whole squad with just alien faces.
just
That's
aliens.
so
I mean,
cool.
that's the goal. We want Zurge to join. We want Xeno. We want all the big ones to come in for Series 3. And we have those set up too. So, yeah, a lot more coming in the next year.
In the next year, heck yeah. Look at the chat says David DeLoherta says that's a dope figure. Beer Village says yo, that's his voice because that's how he talks in real life. Yo, that's freaking cool. Yo, he writes like how he talks. Sam Rock says super dope.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks for showing those.
Yeah, of course.
That first alien is so cool. It's like it's almost cartoony, but
Yeah.
also like it just looks like a cool alien.
I mean, if I had the flexibility, I'd show you my tattoo, but that's not happening.
Get your knee up over your head while standing. Yeah, that's might be tough. That's very cool, man. Cerebral Deep. Thanks for tuning in. Innocent says, amazing.
Awesome, rad.
Like a lot of the feedback that we heard, like with the Kickstarter, was we got initially funded and we hit like a few stretch goals.
Yeah.
But like all the aliens were, later stretch goals, given like there was a lot of new molds as I was saying before.
Yeah.
But those were a lot of the characters that a lot of people were asking about and wanting. So we're excited to like actually be able to bring these guys out as the second wave.
It kind of worked out, yeah, because now going forward, they're going to be, the feature waves, the feature series. So like Series 2 is going to be, the aliens front and center. Series 3, the more aliens. We got bounty hunters lined up. Super badass, cool bounty hunters, build up packs. A lot of stuff that we're not really talking about, but we got a lot of stuff planned.
Yeah. And then all those characters that you've seen the profiles of and the artist and like all the artwork for, we have all the prototypes made for them. So
they're ready to go.
They were there. We've posted them on the on our social media, but I can grab them quick.
Yeah, I mean he has, we gone through all the different like steps of getting the prototypes made, and then we're pretty much, now that we're waiting to fulfill Series 2, we've spent the last like 6 months prepping for the next few series, so nobody has to wait a year and a half again. We want to get them out rapid fire as quickly as we can.
I can't imagine sitting on what you have right now and be like, no, wait for the next wave. Wait for the next one.
Yeah.
So here, this is like a very early prototype, so he may fall apart in my hands. But this is Xeno.
Yeah, there you go.
He's like the air assault specialist. He's got the backpack on the jetpack.
Sweet.
So he's he's like he's a lot of people like him as well.
Yeah. And then
he's this one on the art, right on the very right.
The
far right.
Far right. Yep.
And then the last one we got coming up, that's going to be a deluxe.
Yeah, deluxe figure given the size, but Zurge, he stands at like 7 inches. Yeah. So, and he's just way more bulkier. And then we've given him a helmet. Oh yeah, let's see
in scale.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
And then he has we've gone ahead and given him a helmet as well. Zurge falling apart.
Over there.
And then here he is with his helmet.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a nice helmet. I kind of got the chills right now just looking at it. That's very cool.
So yeah, we've done a lot of the
it's the prep work.
A lot of the prep work. It's all done. It's just getting them made.
Made, yeah.
796 says, "There we go. Need that Zerg."
Yeah, I think he's the fan favorite a lot when we go to shows. Like that's the one that like people whip out their cell phones for and like zoom in, and so we're excited to get him in the line for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing like our first deluxe figure. That'd be pretty sweet.
Tommy K says that one is Triple Flames.
Ooh, Triple Flames.
Team Zerg. So apart from obviously buying Wave 1, and how can people support the brand and make Wave 2 get here faster, more solidified, you know?
I guess the social media communication, the likes, the comments, share. We're trying to make the Series 1 shipping experience over the top. So we want to, we got some things planned for when the boxes show up to your doorstep. We want people to go and, post and, share that hashtag and show us, the unboxing, because that's a big part of it. That lets us know that people are ready for Series 2 and beyond. And, that gets the eye on it. That's most important. Going to social media, Facebook, we have Instagram, Twitter. Got all of them.
Yeah. The box has some of the nice artwork on the back of it too. Is this another artist?
That's the same artist who did the banner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ukrainian guy. Yeah.
These guys look cool, man. It's all a lot of fun. If you haven't seen the review yet, here's an in-hand copy of the Dread Ops. Wait, this is one's Dread Ops? I keep mixing up because I'm looking at everything. Reaper Division. Legionnaire. Anyone in the chat, if you have any questions about the figure or for the fellas here, feel free to put them in the comment section, or if you're watching the replay, let us know what's going on. What are your thoughts on this? I myself, I'm probably going to go head over to tell Mike at eCollectibles that I need a few of those blanks maybe in the weapons pack. Again, quick plug, if you guys are in Canada, you want to order from eCollectibles, you can use the code toyingaround to save 5% at checkout.
Ooh,
but eCollectibles is great. They have a lot of lines. They feature a bunch of smaller independent companies as well, so go support that company as well. And they ship to the US, flat rate shipping to the US. Let me see. NYC Figure Fanatics stopping by to say, "What's up, Kevin the Butter Nation? Catch you on the replay." Heck yeah, appreciate you, man. Thank you. Samrock says, "Figures look super dope. Definitely going to pick one up."
Cool. Thank you.
At that price point, I mean, we honestly, toys in Canada are, if they're getting pricier across the board, up here, it's just there's like an extra. I don't know what the factor is making it. I always look at the U.S. price and the Canadian price, and I'm like, that exchange rate that math doesn't add up.
It's target prices.
Yeah. So, at what did I show the blank? The blank was $22.99. Grab one, grab three. Like you're getting a bunch of cool figures at a really great entry price point, and then like just build up from there if you want to. But I think it's one more toy to your yearly purchases. Yep. But not everyone's like me buying like all this crap, like so much stuff every week nonstop that I gotta do a show about it.
We have our own piles that we haven't shown. Stuff that we just haven't gotten around to unboxing yet.
If there's one more question right here. Well, this isn't the question. Innocent just says, "Take my money."
Sure.
Yeah, I'll take some of it too, man. You have my paper.
Thank you.
796 Studio says, "You fellas have any advice for someone looking to get into producing their own line of figures?"
We've gotten that question quite a bit actually over the years.
Because your product is coming out. I think in their eyes, like this is successful. Like it's happening. It's a real thing. It's tangible. So
Yeah.
I'm not surprised you get that question a lot.
I mean, in terms of from like a factory standpoint, you definitely want to get quotes from multiple factories and not just one.
A lot.
Because some factories might not be the best partners to work with because of either, price point, quality, all that. We've luckily been able to find a really good, factory to partner with, that is able to share all those updates with us, that we've been able to share with you guys with the paint and the prototypes. So I would just say, make sure that you are quoting with multiple factories, and then also make sure that you're very, detail oriented with all the updates that you want to apply to that figure, or to that product, that whatever you're working on, because stuff might get missed in communication. And we saw that a few times when we went through a couple rounds where they missed a few things. We had to say, can you please update this? And then they would then update it. And that's why we've wanted to take a bit of extra time to make sure everything is to our liking, to which we thought would be acceptable to provide to you guys. So those are probably the two biggest things I would call out from like a factory standpoint. And have fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think too, like that's kind of something that gets lost. Like you think about making toys now, you can't talk about making toys without factories and liaisons and all those big things that can be daunting, for somebody that just wants to make a toy and get it out there. So yeah, I think my thing too that I would add in is just market it, throw it on social media, see what people think about it, get as much feedback as you can, and think about marketing. Who do you want it to be for? Who do you want to hold the figure? And like James said, have fun. Start with the fun part, and then you're going to get to the hard part. Because the hard part, you're going to be able to have fun with it because it's going to start getting concrete and real. But starting small, I think, definitely that's how you go about it. Market social media.
Okay.
Just be open to the feedback.
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff
how we started.
like that.
Social media.
Yeah, I think it sounds corny, but like if you're not having fun with toys, like what's the whole point? Sometimes, I get on social media and people are complaining about this and that. It's like, I don't want to see this. Like these are toys. Just want to enjoy it. And sometimes when I review something that it's like, it's not a Star Wars or it's not a Marvel thing. It's like, I don't know what it's about, but I'm having fun with it.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to try to convey that like to whoever's watching, like, yo, I'll sit here and pose it. And I'm kind of picturing what kind of space stuff he's doing, and enjoying looking at the pain and just having fun with it. And, if that's corny, then, why are you buying toys? Right.
Yeah. I mean, growing up, I used to get toys from Dollar Tree, like the static 5 points of articulation. The face would be wonky. They come with like 14 accessories that like they could only hold 3 of. But they were cool. Like, you didn't know much about the character, but it was just eye-catching and it was toyetic.
Yeah.
It was fun. And
The rest of it is just a set dressing. You just throw it around near your guy. Des, RE fan, what's up, man? Thanks for the shout out on your channel the other day and talking about the photo challenge. That's a lot of fun. Says, where in Jersey are they?
Bergen County. So like super up north.
Like, that whole Mawa, Franklin Lakes, Ramsey area, like right on the border of New York.
I'm trying to recall if I know any of those names, and I don't.
We're like 30 minutes away from New York City.
There you go. 30 minutes from Midtown, I would say.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. 796 says he has some ideas. He's always got ideas. I mentioned the photo challenge real quick. The enablers on the enabler account, we do a monthly photo challenge, and at the first Thursday of every month, the enablers are on here. we look at the entries for the photo challenge. And it's not about winning prizes and who has the best photo. Again, it's about having fun and getting people into the art, I guess, or the activity of taking toy photos, playing with your toys, maybe inspiring people for some ideas. This month's theme is recreating an album cover. Could be an album cover that you like, an album that you love to listen to. Doesn't matter. My wife was like, "Why don't you do Spice Girls?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's cool, but I don't. That's not really my thing." But it's been what, a week since we announced it, and there have been a lot of killer entries.
Oh my gosh!
So again,
in sync.
There are people who have, I don't think, maybe they haven't even submitted a photo to previous toy challenges before, but this is just a cool way to get people involved.
Yeah,
and it's music. This is almost like a Spotify of toy photography.
Yeah.
So, right?
Wow.
So not only does this inspire people to take some photos, maybe you discover a new toy collector, photographer, or account out there that you didn't know before.
Yeah.
Innocent, I think that said it right there. It says engage the community. And I think that's what's happening here. And, maybe it reminds you of an album you haven't listened to in a long time, or you want to check something out. The hashtag you can use for this month is #enabler_an album cover. That says an album cover. For everyone misreading that, grow up. No, that's based on the SNL Sean Connery sketch. You guys need to go check that out. My first one, I think it was like a freebie. The Foo Fighters album.
I love that.
Always reminded me of
That's probably my favorite one.
DL44.
That's cool.
And I'm like, I never did it. I'm like, oh, perfect. Here's my chance to go take that photo. So it's as simple as, here's a flight stand from 796 Studios, blue tack, edit out the stand and put it on. I found like a paper texture background. And like, this is open to everybody. If you do toy photography and you only use practical effects, hell yeah, go for it. If you edit, if you are a mint-on card collector, you want to just throw your toy in a box in a picture, or if you collect pops or anything like that, just have fun with it. It's pick an album or something that you're passionate about and just go for it. Dom says Bergen County.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's fairly close to me.
Nice.
796 says shout outs to all you photographers. An album cover is a hit.
The B is capitalized in album. That's weird.
Mario, come on, dude. No, he's the most the biggest offender of being unhinged. Tommy K says, I'm submitting this month, Kev. Have a great one cooked up. Hell yeah, man. I'd love to see it. Can't wait to see what you have. Dom, who had 19 entries in the toy photography challenge. I don't think I've taken 19 toy shots in the last 2 years. So good for him, man. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. I honestly, just visually, just scrolling through it, isn't it just so aesthetic?
I'm pretty sure I have like 90% of those vinyls too.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, what would you guys shoot? What album?
Oh man,
what album could you put this on?
Oh man. Now you're gonna get the wheels turning. I'm gonna go home and flip through my my vinyl collection. And
That's what I'm trying to do.
I love it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think on that. I might have to submit one.
Yeah, maybe we would post something on the social media for that. That'd be pretty fun.
That's cool. Oh my god, Kendrick Lamar with the party wagon. Yes.
Yeah, this is awesome.
All right, that's probably my favorite now.
Yeah, and then Shireen, aka Master Splinter's daughter, is an actual track on that, right?
Hell yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and then Des changed some names around. Krang, don't kill my vibe. Love that. This is all cool stuff. Everyone, yeah. I think when I'm done, when this month is done, I should like print these out and make a poster or like a flip book. Dom took 11 photos just for this challenge.
I mean,
dude,
that's a poster right there.
Bravo.
Like a college dorm poster, an 18 by 36 of just album covers.
Yeah, it's one of those where you hang in your house and it'll make someone double take. Like,
it'll be a statement.
It's familiar, but wait, something's different about this.
Art.
I think this one is most popular.
I think the lighting is what sells it.
Yeah, matching his skin with the underwater look. Blasty.
Can't unsee that.
What a guy. Can Hello There submit for me? Yeah, you should pay him. Hello There, Dom, you took so many photos. Just start selling it to people, and then they can use it as their own entries. There you go. Anything else with the Star Dusk stuff that people should know about? And let's talk. Let's talk some toys.
Yeah, I mean, we got the comic series in the works. We have what's called the Ash Can that's coming out. Very soon. That's what I'll say. It's 6 pages of the first volume. So we're hard at work cranking that out, and then
yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, like the album cover things is like super fun, like super creative and all that, awesome. With like all the toys being involved, like with the looking at it from the Star Dusk side of it. For like the blanks, like I'm super excited to see like what people can come up with those in terms of like paint applications and all that, because I know there's some super talented people out there and customizers. So I'd love to see what anyone can come up with.
And it's not ending with these figures. We have we have the tabletop game that we're working on. We want to bring that to the market. Like the Star Wars Legions, Warhammer. Like we're in the works working with some really talented people to get that going. So there's a lot that's coming.
Yeah,
for sure.
So make sure you stay tuned. You should be following Foxforge Toys over on Instagram. Also, their website, foxforgetoys.com. Like you said, you have Facebook. Also, you want to talk other toys for a little bit? You have anything there you want to open?
Do we have anything to open?
This is your chance. You said you've got a pile building up.
And what's funny? I was contemplating it. I was like, should I bring my stuff over? But then I looked at my pile and I was like, that's just too much.
What do you mean? If it's too, you don't have to bring the whole pile.
I probably have like 4 big bad loot piles just sitting of 3 3/4 stuff. What have I gotten recently? I recently, like as of like 6 months ago, got out of the Black Series game. I didn't have the retail space for it. I went back to bread and butter 3 3/4, and that's what I'm getting behind. I'm
starting to make the switch. I mean, look at this Kenobi. Look at how much stuff he comes with.
That's crazy.
And 3 3/4, like you can just pop it on a shelf. I have my Razor Crest display. I have my Clone Wars. Man. I just made a custom. I got the Super Commando Mandalorian 3 3/4. Made a custom of the Obi-Wan Bounty Hunter. Popped the Clone Wars head on there with some blue tack.
Nice.
So that's kind of where I'm at. I've just been buying up 3 3/4 and just offloading Black Series.
I just made a pile of Black Series clone commanders that I've never opened. There's like a pile of 6 of them, brand new.
Who you got?
Fox.
Nice.
Who's the guy that's green? Gree?
Yeah.
Gree I kept because he got that for me as a gift from Toys R Us. That was an exclusive here.
Oh, yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, I kept that.
There's like 6 clone commanders that I have there. I still have a original Orange Wave Stormtrooper, brand new. tape still on.
Oh, nice.
The two of us.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So, like you said, real estate, toy shelf space is harder to come by than. You can't put that on your credit card. You can't just create space in your house on your credit card. You can buy more toys on credit, but where are you going to put it? So the next thing to do is shrink it down. And since we don't have shrink raise, 3 3/4 is the way to go. I've started some up there already.
That's what I've been doing. Yeah. I mean, in college, we had, the orange line. I had that Stormtrooper, the first clone trooper that came out. And on our windowsill, we used to have them all displayed up in a row. And then by the end of the semester, the backs of them would be just sun bleached and orange. So like now you can tell like which ones I brought to college and which ones I kept in box. Because all of my Stormtroopers have orange backs, like spray tans, like
oh no,
awful decision. Don't do it.
Those will be the dead Stormtroopers in your display, I guess. The ones that have already been shot. You just have them all
so
lay
I
on their
those,
back.
I shot them in like a beach scene. I had them all lined up like they were like on their backs.
What album cover has a beach scene?
I feel like that's a pop punk album cover somewhere.
Yeah. There you go. Matthew says, if you make a collage, can you send it to me? I'll put it on my frame TV in the living room as a backdrop. That'd be cool. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna message everybody and get their permission to make a collage, and then.
Cool.
Another cool one for an album cover would be the Beatles where they're walking across the street.
Ooh.
That'd be
cool.
No one's done Abbey Road.
Not yet. That's on my list, guys. Stop blowing up my list. Yeah, if you don't have anything to open, you're always welcome to come back and open stuff on another episode. Would you like to do that in the future? Maybe if you have some updates too at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, maybe when we get the product in, we can, maybe I'll finally take over my my loot and bring that with some figures crisp off the boat that we can unbox.
Yeah,
that'd be super cool.
We'll try and get videos of when the truck is coming with all the boxes and all that stuff.
Us waving to it.
Yeah. We'll try and
flagging it down.
Yeah.
Well, that's super cool. Everyone in the chat, I hope you enjoyed everything Joe and James have been able to show us and give us some insight on what's going on and kind of what it takes to get your own toy line going, and of course everything with Star Dusk, and just hopefully getting to hear from them directly gives you a different perspective on the line. Hopefully, if you were kind of on the fence before, we kind of moved you towards that direction, or one way or the other. The information's out there. Hopefully, obviously, we want it to go the positive way, because I would love to see Wave 2 and those aliens. You've got them modeled and prototyped. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Much congratulations for Wave 1, and I hope Wave 2. I know you're anxious.
Yeah,
we are.
They come out soon.
Determined. We're determined.
Yeah. We got
plans.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, make sure you're following them on social media, Instagram. I have links in the YouTube video description. I will be back next week for Unboxing Thursdays with D Amazing, the one and only. There may or may not be a special guest. Who knows? It's D23 weekend, so there's lots of new content. Cassian, the Andor show will be starting 21st, I believe. 3 episodes. I love your reactions, guys. You're just both like geekily, like. But the premiere is supposed to be 3 episodes, which would mark the return of the Boba Squadron live streams with myself, Yoko McCann, Paul Sung-Young Lee, and Ernie the Fallen Fett. So make sure you stay tuned. We're going to go into screenshots of the episode and talk about all that stuff. I mean, that set looks bigger and higher budgeted than Kenobi, so it's going to be fun to talk about. The new, was it a Jedi's Return or something, is out on Disney Plus, talking about the making of the Kenobi TV series. It's just crazy time to be a geeky nerd right now. So let's all have fun together. Yes, Boba Squadron. All right, I think that's it. Thank you so much for your time and obviously sending this over, trusting me with
Thank you for having us and
missing the peg hole,
taking the time to miss the peg holes on the side. Yeah, we appreciate it.
Professional toy reviewer.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
No, this has been a lot of fun, and appreciate your time. Thank you. Everyone, go catch the Toy Migos at 11:15 Eastern, I think, for more toy talk. And if you want to chat more toys, I am pasting the link to Discord in the chat. You can join in there, talk about all the different toy lines and things going on with the enablers in the enabler Discord. Joe, James, anything else?
No. Just again, thank you so much for your time, and
thanks everybody.
We appreciate everyone's comments and feedback.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Everyone, have a good night and keep toying around. Peace.
Thank you.